Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Sunday, October 9th, 2022, and tonight I'll be sharing true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all of the episodes of the show, along with links to social media, ways to donate, and ways to contact me at the podcast page, which is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of true paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And thank you all for listening, whether you're here for the live streams or you listen to the YouTube or podcast feeds. So this week, the plan is true paranormal stories from the web tonight and Tuesday, paranormal news Monday and Thursday, and then a book review on Wednesday. And there'll probably be more of the stories from H.P. Lovecraft, the complete fiction. I've been listening to that, and I will get some more time into that and summarize some of those stories again with you all. So that's the plan for Wednesday and also the plans for the rest of the week. So let me see here. I think that's it for this week. There will be special episodes that will be coming basically the last weekend of the month. And I also have an interview I did for another show that was recorded a while back that should be coming out at some point this month, the middle of this month or so, around there. So I will let you all know once that comes out, and I always share that, or at least I always try to remember to share that in the Discord here somewhere. So that was recorded a few months back, I believe now. So I think that takes care of everything. Like I said, thank you all for listening to the live stream, whether if you're here for that. I always appreciate that. So I see you all there. Thank you for being here. And I have 3 stories to share tonight. As you all know, it just depends on how many I find and how long it takes to find them and all those things. So I have 3 stories, and I'll get started reading those now. So let me see here. So yeah, let me see here. I'm just gotta find my place. Okay, here we go. I'm always also just for everyone that hasn't heard me before. I'm always looking for other true paranormal stories. Whether or if you have them to share, I'd always be happy to read them on the show. If you want to send them to me or arrange a interview for the show to be on here with me, happy to do either one. So I haven't gotten any listener submissions in a while, so and that's okay. You don't have to send anything in. But if you'd like to talk about these things, I'm always happy to help with that. So this first story says, I have been living in a new house for 4 months. When everyone is in their room, I hear the chairs moving downstairs. During the day, when I'm alone, I hear whispering. The house is very old. Do you think it's the old inhabitants? It doesn't seem to address me directly. It's very strange. And that's where that story ends. Some of the best stories sometimes turn out to be these shorter ones because it gets right to the point. And it's really amazing how these things happen. It does sound like there might be someone there, maybe, that the writer and maybe the other people that are living in the house that they can't see, but then they hear these sounds as if people are there. Um, I'd be curious to know what the other people that are there experience, if they do experience anything. Um, but the whispering and the sounds of things moving, um, that is kind of typical haunting kind of stuff or paranormal kind of stuff. The whispering is, it makes me think of the house I used to live in. It was my dad and at the time, my stepmom's. And I used to hear that whispering and laughing, but I could never make out what was being said. And I'd hear that in a couple of different places in the house, and it would just start and go on for a little while and then stop. And it was always when I was alone in the house, or if I was alone just in a section of the house, because it was a kind of a um, the bedroom I was in was downstairs, and all the other bedrooms are upstairs. So, but at least it doesn't seem like anything was directed at the people that were staying there, which is good. It does make me wonder if that is the case. If it's just other people that are staying there, maybe they don't even know that they're making noises that the writer is hearing. So, um, so yeah, neat little story there, and just of pretty easy to explain. They're hearing sounds of chairs and things moving around and whispering. So, they don't seem terrified, so that's good. But neat experience, and excuse me, I've excuse me, I've had the experience of the whispering before. So, um, and I think that can really, again, it could be that there's one or more other people that are there that you just are either spirits or they're somehow just barely coming through. Their sounds of their daily life or whatever are just coming through. Um, Maybe even the whispering it's sounding like whispering to the writer, but it's the people that are there wherever they're at. They're talking at full volume. It's hard to say how that all that works, how sound works, and all those things. So, all right. So let me see here. Let me get to the second story here. So this one says, one night as my girlfriend, now wife, and I laid in bed, we sensed something next to us. We normally lay on our sides, but that night we were laying on our backs, faces towards the ceiling. Our eyes opened up and we turned our heads at the same time and to the space next to her side of the bed. Whatever it was took off fast. It went from her side of the bed, right next to my wife, down the side of the bed, up over our feet area, and out of our closed bedroom door. What was really cool was the vertical window blinds adjacent to the bed where the spirit was swayed as the spirit went by them. Kind of like if you ran your fingers on them from right to left. The energy was not only great enough for us to sense exactly where it was, but also great enough to cause physical movement of the vertical blinds. It happened so fast, but we followed it with our heads and eyes as it moved out of our room, even though it was invisible, just pure energy. I think about this occurrence a lot. It's not the first paranormal experience for me or my close family, but it certainly was the most impactful. After I exited the room, my wife freaked out and started to cry as she grabbed me for comfort. I was startled by what happened, but I never felt in danger or ill will from it. Whatever or whoever it was just as startled from what I can tell. We haven't experienced anything like it since. And that's the end of the story. To me, that's amazing. I wonder if somehow something happened, something changed in the environment so that um, this whatever this was, excuse me, whoever or whatever this was, suddenly became of this couple as the couple became aware of it, and it was startled, as the writer suggested, and that's why it got out of there so quickly, because it didn't even know it, that maybe at first that it was in a room with other people, with people in there with it, and so it all of a sudden they were just there to it as well, and so it just left, and it moved really fast, and um so yeah, really amazing story. It made me think of the one time I didn't see or feel, but I heard older couple just walking through my apartment, or moving through my apartment. I didn't hear footsteps, but just walking. It was just like they were talking. They were having a conversation. And it started in the front of my apartment, like they were just passing through it, and it moved all the way through to the back and out through the back wall. And it was just an older couple having a pleasant conversation. I don't remember any of the words now, but just that I remember mainly the tone of voice and the way there was no other sounds, no footsteps. There didn't seem to be they didn't seem to be affected or held back by by the walls. Um, and they were heading in the direction of a nursing home, not too far away from the back of my apartment. So, um, that but so that their ability in the story to just track wherever this was at reminded me of that. Um, my own experience with that. Of course, two completely different experiences in their own way, but still similar in the way that we were able to to keep track of the movement of whatever this was. So, neat stories there. So, I have one more story here to share for tonight, and then we'll get going from there. Let's see here. Okay. So this one says, I was at the park with the kids, 11 and 8 years old, and my dog, a 45-pound Dutch Shepherd. The park equipment has a 4-foot fence around the whole thing. The sidewalk leads, from the dock to the parking lot, with the fenced-in park on the left, if walking towards the parking lot. The entrance to the park is on the opposite side from the parking lot, closest to the dock. Me and the kids were walking towards the truck to leave and saw an older man and woman, 50s in age, get out of their car, which was parked directly beside my truck. Both were dressed very nice, Sunday dress. The woman walked to the bathrooms on my right, and the man, in a button-down tie, dress pants, button-down shirt, I guess they mean, tie, dress pants, and shoes, walked towards the fenced-in kids' park. I glanced behind me to make sure my kids were on my heels, and I kid you not, within the 2 seconds that I glanced behind me and looked back for the man, thinking he was going to walk past me, he was already on the swing and swinging. The kids immediately looked at me, and my daughter said, "That man is so strange." He was laughing and swinging, and looked in my direction, and in the friendly tone, I just said, "The swings don't swing as high as they used to." And he replied something along the lines of, "And they weren't this squeaky either." The swings were loud and rusty. I got to the truck about 4 or 5 seconds later. Very small park. Turned my head to check for him again, and he was gone. And the swing was just violently swinging as if he jumped off of it and vanished. I hurried the kids into the truck and walked the dog around to my side, which was directly beside their vehicle. They weren't in there. They weren't in the park. Nowhere to be seen. When I drove off, I asked the kids if they thought the whole interaction was weird, and they immediately said yes. Not sure who these people were, or how they moved so fast, and apparently just vanished. But it felt like an odd glitch in the Matrix, and it's been in my mind for a few days. What would you think of it? So that's the end of the story. That really is amazing. Um, the whole way that they were able to just disappear and, well, at least the man anyway, was able to just disappear and reappear. Um, makes me wonder if the older woman in the vehicle was normal, let's just say, in that general kind of term, and she really did just walk to the restroom, and maybe even had no idea there was this other figure in the vehicle with her, and then he was able to do all these odd things, this vanishing and reappearing and vanishing like that within a space of seconds. From being right next to them to being on the swings to being gone, completely gone off of the swings. That really is an amazing story. I can't imagine though what that would be like to deal with. When you have your kids, that could be frightening. I'm glad that nothing else happened. Didn't seem like they were in any danger, but so hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully that's the case. It just seemed like that guy was just really able to do some things that are not normal. So, so yeah, I don't know what to make of that, other than just some kind of, like the writer said, maybe glitch in the Matrix or teleporting somehow. Doesn't seem like there was any lost time on the end of the people there, so apparently this all did happen in the time frame that they were talking about, I'm guessing. So neat story there, and can't imagine having that experience. Like I said, I really wonder if they had stayed there longer, would they have seen the woman come out of the restroom, the rest area? That would have been amazing to see what happened with that. So yeah, neat story. But that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all for listening and for being here. And I'll be back tomorrow night with another episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.